Crypto's roots are so interesting, don't you think? It all started with an open source spirit where everyone could see the code, verify it, and contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And that transparency was a huge part of the trust mechanism behind like Bitcoin and early blockchain projects.
Exactly. And it wasn't just about trust, it was about decentralization too. The idea was to disrupt conventional financial systems by inviting everyone into the conversation.
That's true. But now things seem to have shifted a bit, haven't they? Projects are increasingly leaning towards closed source to protect their secret sauce designs.
Yep, and that's the crux. On one side, you have the original open source ethos, and on the other, a kind of move to shield ideas from being copied or exploited.
Right, I get that. I mean, isn't it a bit ironic though? Crypto, born on a foundation of transparency, is now using security through obscurity as a shield.
Yeah, it's a paradox, really. Projects hope that by keeping their code closed, they can fend off hackers by making it harder to analyze. But then critics, like some experts, argue that it's just masking vulnerabilities rather than fixing them.
That makes sense. Take the Solana loop scale exploit, for example. Closed source actually backfired there when a hacker exploited the system for 5.8 million.
Exactly. It's like trying to hide the cracks in a dam with a coat of paint. The attacker was able to manipulate collateral parameters, which shows that hiding code doesn't equate to better security.
Yep, I see that. Though I wonder if moving to closed source might at times, deter casual copycats or competitors from forking smart contracts too easily.
That's a fair point, and some would argue it does add a layer of protection. But remember, one critic pointed out that even if 99% of users are not reading the code, just one honest expert can flag something dangerous. It's like needing just one pair of fresh eyes to
Right.
catch a flaw.
So, in that sense, the ethos of open source still stands strong, allowing community audit and increased transparency.
Yeah, and research backs that up. There was a 2022 report by Red Hat showing that many leaders view enterprise open source software as secure, sometimes even more secure than proprietary alternatives.
Yeah, that sounds convincing. It's just interesting how, as crypto matures, some players are embracing the corporate mindset, seeking bank charters, building institutional rails. In that scenario, closed source doesn't seem like betrayal, but a practical step toward mass adoption.
Right, but then there's that inherent clash with crypto's original vision, a grassroots rebel movement wanting to disrupt, not integrate with the centralized systems. It's it's like, are we preserving the soul of the innovation or just becoming a corporate spin-off?
hmm And don't forget, similar debates are happening in other fields, like with open source AI models. For example, DeepSeek made waves by being open source, yet raised concerns about potential misuse.
Exactly. It's interesting. While open source fuels innovation and democratizes technology, it also opens doors to misuse if safety guardrails aren't strong enough. But then, closed code might limit
Yeah, that's
innovation
the
and
million-dollar
oversight.
question. I sometimes think, isn't it a bit too simplistic to say that closed source equals insecurity? There might be scenarios where protecting intellectual property is critical for survival in competitive markets.
I totally get that point. But here's where I respectfully challenge that. When we're talking about crypto, the very foundation is trust through verifiability. If you hide the code, you're basically asking users to trust blindly, and that erodes the core value proposition of decentralization.
I get that it's a tough balance. So it becomes less about security and more about maintaining a philosophical integrity along with innovation security, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a tug of war between protecting proprietary ideas and upholding the crypto values of openness and verifiability.
I'm curious though, how do you see this playing out? I mean, the data from DeFi even shows that, especially in Solana's ecosystem, open source protocols are reclaiming their value.
Yes, as of late 2021, there was a clear shift. Open source protocols climbed to almost 90% of the value locked in Solana DeFi. It's almost like um, the market itself is favoring transparency and community trust over the closed approach.
Yeah, it definitely indicates a trend. Then again, big players with deep pockets might still lean toward closed source to guard against intellectual property theft by competitors, especially in smart contract innovations.
Sure, but then you run into the issue of security by obscurity. Just as Jordan, an engineer at Solana research firm Anza, pointed out, if a select few can change code without broader oversight, users end up just trusting teams without any verifiable smart contract.
I see your point. It sounds almost like the debate is reflecting a maturing industry, where the revolutionary open source spirit is blending with corporate risk management.
Exactly. It's a bit of a coming of age moment for crypto. What once was a revolution is now adapting to a world that values both innovation and security in different ways.
Right, that transition is fascinating. And it raises a deeper question. How do you preserve the disruptive energy of crypto while ensuring that security, transparency, and trust aren't sacrificed in the process?
Yeah, it's like trying to hold on to that youthful rebel spirit while sitting in a boardroom. Maintaining the balance is tricky. I mean, while a corporate approach might bring regulatory benefits, it can dampen the decentralization that was key to its original allure.
Yeah, it's quite the conundrum. Do you think the industry's direction depends more on market forces or inherent values in the tech community?
Probably a mix of both. Market dynamics push companies towards efficiency and proprietary protection, yet the tech community's values insist on openness and peer verification. In the end, the push and pull will likely drive a hybrid model where strategic parts are closed, but the core principles remain verifiable.
That sounds like a balanced approach. It's quite exciting to imagine where crypto will go from here. Will it continue to recede back into a corporate realm, or will the community reclaim those open source ideals?
That's the $1 million question. I mean, if transparency can coexist with um, competitive merit protection, maybe there's room for a win win. But if not, then we risk diluting what made crypto revolutionary in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's clear this debate is far from settled, and that's what keeps it so intriguing, right?
Absolutely. The evolution of crypto isn't just about technology, but also philosophy and trust. It's like watching a maturing rock band. Their roots remain, but the style adapts over time.
That's a neat analogy. I love that imagery. It really drives home how the industry's soul can be both preserved and transformed.
For sure. And the interplay between open and closed code is central to that transformation. Whether through forking competitors or safeguarding innovations, the choices made now could shape crypto's identity for years to come.
Right on. Well, it's been a riveting discussion, diving into these nuances. The balance between transparency and protection really defines crypto's next chapter.
Absolutely. It remains a dynamic debate, one that tells us in every code line there's a story about trust, innovation, and the future of decentralized finance.
Indeed. And I'll be watching closely to see how the industry navigates these challenges. Thanks for the chat.